What's up guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon video with some more new information. And we had a new trailer come out today, about an hour or so ago, just talking about new stuff, revealing English names for the Pokemon we have seen recently in Kommo-o and such, as well as extra Pokemon and some new sort of characters, I suppose. So we'll go along. We're starting off with Type Null's evolution, which in English is known as Silvally. It is the synthetic Pokemon Sil, pure normal type as we know. Its ability in English is called RKS system, whatever that means. But when Type Null gains a partner it can trust, it destroys the mask it has on, and its speed increases substantially apparently. Free to restraining effects, its senses are heightened and reverts to its natural temperament. It's wild but will obey the trainer it trusts, etc, etc. By inserting exclusive items into the drive on Silvally's head, its RKS system can be activated, causing Silvally's somatic cells to mutate and grow. This enables it to change its type, and its cells glow with different colours of light depending on its type. So basically it's very similar to Arceus with its multi-type and its plates. Its ability is called RKS system, which no previous Pokemon has had. By holding these items, it can change its own type, and multi-attack is a move it can learn that changes the type upon what it's holding, so it's very simple. It's the sort of stuff we knew about really anyway from Korokoro, so nothing too fancy there, but it has got ears, I notice now, with the mane above its head, which look kind of weird, but whatever. Move on. Then we have, of course, the evolutions of Hakamo-o. In English, we have to have Hakamo-o, so we're keeping the motos, which is okay, but it's kind of annoying to pronounce, but whatever. It's the scaly Pokemon, dragon fighting as we heard, bulletproof and soundproof are the abilities. When it evolves, it breaks from its fellows and begins to live on its own to train itself. Dances before battle to show its strength, so I'm guessing it's going to learn Dragon Dance, and its scales make for fine armour. Very interesting indeed. And of course then we have the final evolution, which is known as Kommo-o. And it's again the scaly Pokemon, dragon fighting again. It's only 5 foot tall, so it's not huge, but you know, whatever. At the end of its harsh training, Hakamo-o evolves into its overwhelmingly powerful form. It returns to the land of its birth and watches over the Hakamo-o. There's a legend that says it's covered in glittering scales in order to drive away a great darkness covering the world. The reason these Pokemon seek out battle is to gain the power needed to defeat this darkness. When it detects someone approaching, the Pokemon rings the scales on its tail to announce its presence. Okay, pretty cool. Its greatest move is the Uppercut, and it also has a exclusive move called Clanging Scales. And it's a move that only it can learn. It scrapes the scales, covering its body against one another, attacking with a great clamour. After using this move, its defense is lowered, so similar to close combat, I guess. Very similar there, and I'm guessing it will be a fight. Don't know what type it will be, but we'll find out. So then moving on, we have more evolutions, not of Pokemon we've seen, well, of Pokemon we've seen before, but evolutions we didn't know about. These are the evolution of Bounsweet. First up we have Steenie, which is the fruit Pokemon, pure grass type, leaf guard, oblivious abilities, nothing too special there. The calyx on its head is harder than Bounsweet's, so Steenie no longer worries about being stabbed. Okay, great. As Bounsweet, it may have preferred to run away, but now Steenie can play together with other Pokemon. Upon evolving, its fragrance becomes even more delectable, but gains a tomboy-like personality. Living together was quite the ordeal. It unleashes common moves using the calyx on its head and its hard legs. First it smacks opponents with the calyx, and then when the opponent flinches, it lands a whacking great kick. So yes, the calyx being like basically the sides of its seed, I suppose you would call it. But then we have the final evolution of this line, which is called Serena. The design is a bit weird here, but I'm not too bothered by it. Again, it's the fruit Pokemon, pure grass type, so that's that there. Has a new ability called Queenly Majesty, as well as Leaf Guard, and Queenly Majesty basically means that Pokemon enemies can't use priority moves, so you always get to move first. There's no way they can do it unless of course they have Mold Breaker. Apart from that, Serena, nature of high class nobility, yes, you know, Queenly Majesty, looks like a queen I suppose you could say, so very stuff that. Also knows a new move called Trop Kick, which is a move that only Serena can learn. It lowers an opponent's attack by showering it with blazing hot kicks in a style similar to that originating from tropical countries. It said this Pokemon loses its strength if touched on the crown like protuberance on its head. Very nice there. But yes, that's the final evolution of that. So the line is 3 long. I thought it was just going to be 2, but you know, even longer, fair enough. Not too fussed about that. And then we have one more evolution to look at, which is the evolution of Cutiefly, I think is the, yeah, that was Pokemon. And we have Bombie. It's the B5 Pokemon again, Bug Fairy still. Ability Honey Gather or Shield Dust, same as Thingy. Cutiefly is the one. They collect flower nectar and pollen to make into balls known as pollen puffs. These serve as food and such. Ribombee may use puffs to strike their opponents during battle. Some of the pollen puffs that Ribombee make also have relaxing effects, so we might end up, apparently they're distributed out the Alola region as high-priced supplements, so we might end up being able to buy those and be similar to, I don't know, stuff like, you know, I can't remember the word now, yeah, basically healing items. They hate getting rained on, and they're covered with fluffy hairs that hold the pollen they've gathered, etc, etc, etc. So those are almost the new Pokemon, but of course we have Alolan Grimer to look at. As we mentioned, it's the Poison Dark type. Its ability is Poison Touch or Gluttony, so nothing overly special there. When the population in the Alola region increased, dealing with their garbage became a serious problem. As a solution, Grimer were imported from other regions. They fed on the garbage, so the composition changed, as did their form. What appear to be teeth in this Pokemon's mouth are in fact residual toxins from the garbage it eats, which have hardened and crystallized. No method has been discovered to break down these crystals. Direct contact with them presents a danger. It's always eating garbage, but its constant hunger will cause it to begin eating other manufactured objects if it runs out of garbage to feed on. There are more than 100 Alolan Grimer in Alola's garbage processing plants, and all the garbage produced in Alola is taken for use as their food. So basically it's got more poisonous, which doesn't really explain the dark typing, but it's whatever. We also have Alolan Muck to look at, and it looks really funky because it glows and it's sort of rainbow coloured. Same, you know, typing ability as such as Grimer. It eats what is within reach without pausing, and feels the sharp pangs of hunger. It runs amok if so. Its voracious appetite stems from an inability to maintain its energy levels without a constant influx of toxins. They've accumulated in its body from a steady diet of various waste products, and its accumulation has brought about a chemical change producing a new kind of toxin. They have the same poisonous crystals as Grimer, but they're not limited to its mouth and extend from all over its body. They use them to attack just like other Pokemon use their fangs or claws, and these high toxic crystals are easily knocked loose, making them extraordinarily dangerous. The Grimer and Muck in the Alola region produce and store their toxins within their body, so unlike the Grimer and Muck in other regions, you won't detect any unpleasant aromas when you draw near one. So they are less poisonous, but they are more poisonous? I do not know. Anyway, so we have two new characters to look at as well. The first of these is the Trial Captain Alima, as we were expecting anytime soon. They are an expert on normal type Pokemon, so we're talking about possibly ground type, bug type, but normal type works, because as I mentioned in my previous video, there is a school basically on the first island, so it makes a lot of sense there. They graduated from the trainer school, which is obviously again on Melemele Island, and a hero to the students of that school, and they're obviously a trial captain on Melemele. They might be the only one there, because you start here, start on Melemele, you do the normal trial, and then you move on to do grass, fire, water, electric, which are the other four basic types, I suppose. So that's one possibility there. Now we also know about the kahuna of Akala Island, and that is Olivia. The second island we visit is obviously Akala, as we now know. Her skill is extraordinary, and as can be expected from someone chosen to serve as kahuna at such a young age, but she still insists she's a normal girl, and apparently she specialises in rock-type Pokemon. So my guess would be that we have 4 kahunas, they each specialise in a type possibly. I couldn't tell you what Hala specialises in terms of what Pokemon we've seen him use. He uses a brawler, so he might use fighting types. It's not specified anywhere that he uses fighting types at all, but he may be a fighting type specialist. So we have fighting and rock possibly as tenuous for the moment, and obviously we have fire, water, grass, electric, and now normal, so that is 7 types covered so far. There are only, is it 18 types? I'm guessing 18 if I remember correctly off the top of my head. I think it's 18, I should just quickly check. Yeah, 18 types, so that's 7 gone so far. There's only 11 types left rather, which of course are various types. We're going to get 2 more kahunas from those, so those will be up to 9, which means we have 9 types left, so possibly 9 more. Well, thinking about in terms of what Z crystals we get, assuming that we get a normal one from Elima, and then, well, we get our Z ring from Hala, so Hala. I always get them confused. So assuming we get a normal type one from there, maybe we get Poison and Dark from Team Skull, maybe, so that's 2 there, adding on to the 7 we already had, that's 9, and then 2 more kahunas, 10, 11. Maybe we get something, so maybe a Foundation give us the Z crystal as well, or maybe that's different because they're not ready. They didn't really come from the Alola region, I suppose. So that's 11. So it's leaving 7 types left. I can see it being 7 or more. 7, maybe. So that's what we have 5 now. So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, maybe you could get one or 2 more from a Foundation, which would bring it up a bit more and have a few more trial captains to go alongside with that. Who knows though? But what I want to know is what you know, what you think, or what you want to think, I don't know, about all the new Pokemon that have been revealed today. So let me know what you think about Silvally, Kommo-o, the other one, I can't remember his name, as well as the evolutions of Bunsweet, as well as Cutiefly, and of course Alola Muck. Do you like the fact that we have a Poison Dark type on this line now? You see Muck, or are you still a bit iffy about it? Because of course it doesn't make much sense to me. Yes, okay, they're eating more waste and toxic stuff, cool, but they're already poison type, so it doesn't make any sense. And now, but at the same time, they're also less poisonous because they now consume it all and don't exude the toxins or the smell, basically. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about them down below, because I'm a bit 50-50 on them. But that's a bit for me for today, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, but I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.